So, at number 1, okay, I saw this one myself at Reveal, which was a couple of days ago, but ever since, I'm really trying to wrap my head around the concept of this thing here. But for those of you who missed it, we got here something called, probably, I'm not even sure yet, Body Cam FPS project, which is, as you can see, exactly what the title suggests, with some next level, probably Unreal Engine 5 footage. This is the only thing we've heard about this one at the moment, nothing else. Moving on at number 2, we've got by Indie, just the letter D actually, which is a one-man Korean game development studio in here. The concept of a project called Grey with an A. This thing is only described by the man as an open-world action-adventure and about the appearance of some alien civilization on Earth and just the mystery nature of something like that. Here's some gameplay, game set to be released for PCs and consoles as well sometime next year. At number 3, we have here the old, I believe, Oddlet Z, which y'all probably remember this one from a tad over 3 years ago as some island survival first-person thrilling game that was supposed to be coming out last year. Now, I actually translated this game myself, if it is the same though, by Outwild back then. And well, technically the game's now got itself an English title. It's called Wild Side, and it's gonna be released for PCs and consoles as well and due out sometime next year.
Joy at the immediate response to my action, and then a surge of power as I realized that the piano would do what I wanted it to. What is left of it now?
Moving on, we have Layers of Fears. Actually a brand new entry by the same developers behind Baldur's Gate stuff, and technically building upon the foundations of a game called Layers of Fear, without an S after fear. This is by Blooper Team, the old Welsh horror adventure game that came out 2 years ago. Layers of Fears, we know, is releasing early next year for PCs and the next generation of consoles only. It is a first-person psychedelic storytelling horror game. Check it out in case you missed it.
I want out.
Remember, recruit, you're part of the Triple O now, under the wings of the mightiest fleet the galaxy has ever seen. But here, within the Twin Planet system, you're on your own.
Moving on, we've got Hubris. This is a VR first-person shooter with an episodic structure. The first episode of which, the series, come to mention, came after years of anticipation, and it's been around for only a few months now. It's been sitting on Steam for free ever since. Honestly, not much to go with Hubris as of this moment, other than the fact that the game is visually really nice and that the full thing with further episodes is going to be coming out later this year. Check it out.
After 3 centuries of the Tokugawa's repressive rule, the Black Ships appeared without warning.
Now, if I haven't mentioned this one before, which I believe I had, but Team Ninja at the moment really goes a long way for new games. Assuming you're not keen to this one yet, the fine folks at the company just announced their next game going by the name Rise of the Ronin. This is a PlayStation 5 exclusive by Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo. They're literally promising a multi-layered story that showcases the 19th century-ish Japanese Ronin life sim something, and is set to be released in 2024 at its earliest.
Your time has come.
Repeat after me. I, V, do solemnly swear.
CD Projekt Red just came out and announced something called Phantom Liberty. That was actually about a month ago. For those of you who missed it, this is a DLC for Cyberpunk 2077, and that is going to be released for PCs, Xbox Series X, and the PlayStation 5 only, no past generation consoles. This is according to developers an all-new District of Night City that they have been working on since release, and it'll arrive early to mid next year.
Bad idea.
Kings, barons, queens. We give them different names, but they're all the same.
Arc Raiders, on the other hand, which is just one of the most mind-blowing first and third-person hack-and-slash and shooters that's been in the making by EA Games since the beginning of 2021. It just got itself a new trailer, a release date of mid to late 2023, and the confirmation that the game will have some actual in-game footage by the end of this year. This is, in case you need a memory jog, a totally free-to-play game and being developed for PCs and next-generation consoles only, so keep it in mind.
Showtime.
Somebody said
Somebody's coming in hot.
Oh, it's on.
Does she love you better than I can?
Yeah, let's go.
Watch it.
scout ahead.
Right there. Shit! Too many of them. Fall back. Now. Look out!
Let's jump in with the M8.
Now, as in the case of Forza Motorsport, you all know that the last time we got an update on it was the show-off at the Xbox and Bethesda Games showcase all the way back in June, with its official gameplay reveal. Now, for those of you new, however, this is Turn 10 Studios' latest and biggest racing game to this day, essentially Forza Motorsport 8, which was first announced in 2020 and now set to be released in spring of 2023 with a bigger map, more customization options, and etc.
Day here, and look at the world details. Everything you see is new and has been captured with photogrammetry and 3D material scans. Advanced rendering and procedural generation techniques bring a new level of realism to the track. Here you can see the beautiful fall colors of Maple Valley. The grass, rocks, 3D vegetation, skies and clouds, they all demonstrate a generational leap in beauty and detail.
At number 10 by publishers Raw Fury and the fine folks at Lunar Software from a very long time ago. Something here called Routine. It's a first-person science fiction horror game that was first announced more than a decade ago, and one that's set on an abandoned lunar base designed around an 80s version of the future. Check it out. Currently this game has no release date or release window and only rumored to be released by the end of 2023.
Of course, from now on, we need to isolate him.
You want to lock him away?
Do you know what your brother is capable of?
Hugo is condemned.
The last threshold means the death of the carrier.
Coming up behind that by Focus Entertainment, and from July this year, this is the first gameplay showcase of a Plague Tale Requiem, for those of you who missed out, a stealth horror adventure game that's been in the making since its prequel came out in 2019. Now, Requiem is, of course, the sequel of that one that takes place 6 months after the events of the original game, and it is now a tad even more horror and action theme. Check it out. Game will eventually launch October 18, or technically about 3 days from now.
Kill you.
I know where your island is. Keep me alive until we get there.
By the way, this land is under the Count's law. Be nice.
Feel free to enjoy Lacuna. Brighter days are the best time for it.
Fuck it. I don't need you.
What is wrong with me? You'll end up wanting to kill me too.
What happened?
It's the rats. This world hurts. And it keeps hurting. And you want to hurt it back. But it's a fight you cannot win in this.
They must die! They are dead!
Who do you think you are to defy me?
I'm Amicia Darun!
Moving on from a couple of months ago by Game Science, developers of Wukong, Black Myth, we came across another 2 more trailers, a cinematic and another gameplay showcasing. Just in case you missed out, this is a reminder for one of the biggest games in the making out of China right now. Black Myth Wukong is now set to be released for PCs and the next generation of consoles only by the end of 2023. This is, in case you are new to it, an open world action RPG, Souls-like. about a month ago at the Annapurna Interactive Showcase by the end of July this year, we finally got our first look at a game I've been patiently waiting to hear more about called The Lost Wilds. And in case you missed it, and I highly doubt that, it is a dinosaur survival horror game at its heart and a first-person shooter, which was initially just the work of a small team but now into a full development plan by Annapurna Interactive. Check it out, game set to be coming to PCs only as a solo and co-op multiplayer, due out early 2024 now. Skull and Bones, though, on the other hand, well, first off, in case you're just new to it, is an open-world pirate ship battling action RPG in the same vein as old Assassin's Creed Black Flag games, actually a tad, because mainly it's just a totally different thing, is now releasing on March 9 next year, as opposed to November 8 this year, so yeah, we did just get a new trailer and also a delay announcement. The fact that the game is now on its way to PCs, Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 only, so keep it in mind.
War. Do you, Kratos? All that blood on your hands? On your son's hands?
So, I'm just hoping you haven't got a glimpse of this one yet, because Sony debuted a new God of War Ragnarok trailer and gave us a closer look at the action of an in-game, which is, to be quite frank, the best trailer they actually released for the game. They also revealed that a God of War themed controller and some other stuff is going to be released as well with the game and eventually due out November 9 this year for the PlayStation 5 and 4 only. Check it out in case you missed it.
For the old father!
Death can have me when it earns me.
What do you even know of godhood? In your lifetimes, has anyone ever worshipped you? Ever prayed to you? Can you even imagine that kind of love? No! You don't care about anything beyond yourself.
Hogwarts Legacy, on the other hand, not exactly just, but very recently came across a 3-month delay. It also got a new trailer, and it's going to be released to literally every single platform, even Switch, on February 10 next year. Now, this is in case you are new to the first open-world Harry Potter game that takes place 100 years before the appearance of Harry Potter himself, and this was actually captured on the PlayStation 5. Moving on, we have from earlier this year, but once again with us here today, something called Instinction, which is some Tomb Raider inspired dinosaur survival game. I've actually been led to believe that is in development since last year. Well, here's a new trailer, game set to be released sometime in 2025 and into PCs and consoles as well.
After all this death,
And last but not least, we've got Pioneer, maybe Pioneer, I don't think so though. This is a first-person shooter that does, if not probably in a second, look a lot like Atomic Heart. It's Russian, it's got the same aesthetic, and what's interesting is that the game was announced a few years ago, and then last year we got to see some actual gameplay of it, here in all of its MMO glory. Check it out, game set to be released for PCs only sometime next year.